I don't think that's how computers work. Tron, released in 1982. Go easy on me. I'm still recovering from a sickness and I'm still congested, so trying to have fun here. But this movie was released in 1982 and is directed by Steven Lisberger, who's also directed such films like Animal Olympics, Hot Pursuit, and Slipstream. And this film is starring Jeff Bridges, Bruce Boxleitner, David Warner, Cindy Morgan, Bernard Hughes, and the person with the greatest English accent to ever walk this earth, David Warner. Seriously, name me an actor that has a better English accent than him. You can't. And the reason why we're talking about Tron today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from a big contributor and supporter of this channel, Jeff Fry. Thank you very much once again for this recommendation. He sent me over a bundle and I'm trying to get to them. Had a lot to kind of combine into my schedule, but you know what? I'm happy that you sent these recommendations over because the majority of them I've never seen before, including Tron. I've always heard about this film, and I remember when the previews were coming out for the sequel, Tron Legacy, I want to say, came out in like early 2010s, like 2011-ish, somewhere around there. Haven't seen any of these movies. Don't know what they're about. I just knew that Jeff Bridges was in them, and it was all CGI computeristic stuff, so here we are watching it, and you know what? This is pretty impressive for it being 1982, and its use of these long stretches of CGI. I mean, for the time, it's very impressive. Is it impressive, nowadays with all the technology that we have? Oh god, no. But being back in 1982, if I was a kid in the theater watching this for the first time, my mind would have been blown. This is incredible. And that's where I had to keep putting my mindset with this film. Like, Caleb, don't be a prude. Go back to the early 80s where this is just never heard of before and just be amazed at the magic that you're seeing on the screen. And I appreciated it. So thank you very much, Jeff, for the recommendation. If anyone else out there also wants to be like Jeff and help support me and contribute to this channel, you can select the QR code that is in the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Send over your donation of $5 or more with your movie recommendation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out just like what I did with Jeff Fry here. Kevin Flynn is a leading software engineer in the field and is constantly attempting to hack into the Ecom system, a company which he used to work for, but with Ecom's implementation of the MCP, the Master Control Program, the computer is basically running the entire company. So while Kevin tries to hack it and exploit all of its evil doings, the MCP manages to find Kevin and to digitize the human version of him into the computer system. So now Kevin Flynn must overcome a whole bunch of computer programs and obstacles in order to defeat the MCP and to come back to real life. I think that's what happened. With this film being so groundbreaking on the technical side, with all the long-running CGI scenes that we have in here, the script becomes very complicated. And I'm not saying like I wasn't able to follow it for the most part. I guess I kind of am not able to follow it because it's a little confusing. But my mind keeps thinking about how Jeff Bridges in the computer program world, how he's interacting with all these other programs that are written by his friends, these people that he knows, and how they have their faces to them, but they're programs. Jeff Bridges is not, but he's interacting with these programs that have his friends' faces, and they're kind of just walking along, hanging out, being cell buddies when they're waiting to compete in the next tournament. And if I was a kid back in the 80s, I thought that this just would have been cool, but knowing how, or I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I kind of know how computers work here in 2025, watching this, I'm like, oh, that's not how computers work. Computer programs don't have other buddy programs that they hang out and talk with while they're not being used, waiting for the tournament and the next games to start. But it's a movie, we need character, we need drama, so that happens here. Now, talking about the CGI, we have awesome sequences in here where we have them in their little motocross bike things, and they break free of the game, and they're trying to find a way out to the real world, and they have these boxy tanks that Jeff Bridges' character has created, but there's just a ton of them, and they're going after the bikes. That was a cool sequence. Again, would this CGI hold up today? Absolutely not, because it's very boxy, and the background is very simple. There's not a lot to it. It just doesn't look very exciting, because everything in the background, well, there's not a lot in the background. It's just a lot of square, boxy shapes. I've never played Minecraft, but I would assume that this looks very Minecraftian, if that's a word. I kind of think I'm dating myself with that reference. But also the boxiness of the tanks and the motocross vehicles and really all of the vehicles that we see in this movie. It reminds me of watching Beast Wars when I would come home from elementary school, or playing N64, Mario on there, and Star Fox. All of the spaceships and all of the characters just look very boxy, and that same thing applies here. This was back in the early 80s. But it's still very impressive, and I think this concept as a movie, as a story, and these characters, the situation, is very ahead of its time. I mean, we've had other iterations of Tron in nowadays, well, in the 90s and the 2000s to nowadays from the last couple of years. So to say that Tron really birthed the creation of the video game idea and bringing video game ideas to the big screen, yeah, I would say that Tron is the grandfather of that, and it should be respected. It should be commended for doing so. However, if you are from a certain generation of these later years in the last decade, if you go in to watch this movie, you may think it's pretty silly, and it may be hard for you to appreciate the ingenuity that this film had in the early 80s. But I'm definitely intrigued. I think that they're making a third Tron film, Tron Ares. That's right. It's coming out, I think, next year. I'm going to have to check out Tron Legacy before I see that one, just to see what all the fuss is about. I'm going to give Tron 3 out of 5 Blu-rays.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
So guys, if you've seen Tron, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my taste on movies, hit the subscribe button to make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I'm releasing next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.